So, hey everyone, today we have Neha Garg with us. She has recently cracked Microsoft SD2. She has been previously worked with companies like Intuit, Walmart, and I think Ericsson as well. So,
Yes, as an intern.
yeah. So, I would like Neha to introduce herself for the audience and walk us through your journey so far, maybe from Walmart to Intuit, now to Microsoft, and how your role has been evolved at each company.
Thanks, Anwar. Thanks a lot for inviting me on this channel. So, yeah, as you mentioned, my name is Neha. I am currently working in Microsoft as an SD2 developer. I very recently joined Microsoft last week only, but before that, like I graduated in 2022 from Triple IT Surat. After that, Ericsson was just on a 6 month internship period, so nothing much there. But in Walmart as my first company, it was an amazing experience for me in terms of getting friends, work experience, office experience. Everything was so nice there. So after that, Intuit was there, but very short period, almost 4 months, not 4 months as well. It was 2 to 3 months. But Intuit is also an amazing company. I would really say that everyone should at least try Intuit once in a time. But as a my personal choice, I joined Microsoft.
Okay.
So nothing related to like that why I left Intuit or any specific reasons. No, it is my choice only. That's why I joined Microsoft. So this is a small introduction about me.
Okay. So, Walmart, was it a Bangalore office or Gurgaon?
It was a Bangalore office.
Okay, super. So, Walmart, was it an off-campus opportunity or an on-campus?
It was an off-campus opportunity. I got other offers from on campus as well. As Ericsson was giving me the PPO, then Toppers, other companies as well. I forgot the name. But Microsoft, I mean not Microsoft, Walmart came around June 2022, and it was so a dare to complete platform at that time. Now I think it is Unstop platform. So one hackathon kind of organized for the particular girls. It was Code Hours.
Yeah,
From that, I got selected in Walmart after giving 4 to 5 interviews.
superb, superb. So, I think even this year as well, they will be hosting coders and many other companies.
Yeah, I think it is every.
They have women in tech drives happening.
It is really nice opportunity as an off campus because in Walmart, I think mostly they hire on campus as a fresher grade, mostly from IITs, what I look up to from my friends. But this is really nice opportunity to getting off campus in Walmart.
No doubt in that, no doubt. So, how was your working experience at Walmart? Like, what kind of tech you were involved in? What kind of problems or system you were dealing with? Because the reason is I'm also an ex Walmart. I was there for
Oh,
almost 18 or 18, 19 months.
nice.
And so just curious which team you're from.
Oh, nice, nice. So I am the like part of the marketplace team,
Okay.
which is internally only tech pillar.
Okay.
Yeah. So like as a fresher, I have the options to choose front end or back end. My manager gave this opportunity to me.
Okay.
So I decided to be back end because front end I explored in my college. So I thought to try something else. As a backend started with like I think in each of the team mostly, and I am not saying each of the team, but mostly they are using Java Spring Boot
Okay.
as a backend tech stack. So I was there in like Java. In DSA I mostly use C++, so I never familiar with the Java. So it was tough challenge for me to accept Java. But as a I was new fresher as well, so I can adopt anything. I don't have any such issues that I will be fixed on C++, nothing like that. Java then like Java Spring Boot started with some monitoring algorithms when I was just joined Walmart, unit test cases to get familiarized with the codes, and then growing with the projects like I was involved in the multiple projects. Few of the project is enhancement I can say, and few we have to work on the scratch where I got a lot of learnings because no previous existing repository, no setup. We have to design and we have to build it and we have to deploy it. So everything in our own, you can say in our own hand only. So amazing opportunity for me to get the learning from there. So it was like after 1 year, I can say we went live with that project. It was so helpful to the support experience team. We are basically kind of supporting the team who are part of Walmart warehouses.
Okay.
So providing the tools, improving tools, automation, you can say,
Yeah.
so they have to do less work. So like that.
Okay. Makes sense. Makes sense. I was also part of Omnitech,
Right.
specifically for marketplace. We used to derive eligibilities of orders that you see on Walmart.de.
Yes.
I mean, if the orders are eligible for shipping, 1-day delivery, 2-day delivery,
Got
the
it.
promises, and gifting eligibility, all kind of eligibility and restrictions that one can see. And it was a tier 1 service. If it goes down, the Walmart.com will go down.
Nice.
So I could relate whatever you said. Super. So next question. Since I saw you switched very frequently from Intuit to Microsoft, but you already explained that it was completely your decision. But can you throw some light? What made you feel like switching so early? I mean, in just 2-3 months, was it a pending offer from at the Microsoft side, or it's something else that we don't know?
Yeah. Microsoft actually, when I was in the college, I was literally tried multiple times.
Okay.
Even I got interviews as well, but I rejected. I accepted it. Then I started with Walmart. But after 2.5 or 3, I realized that working on the project is fine. I got lot of learnings, knowledge, but a little bit I can say the growth, a constant in a phase like doing development of APIs, I am already familiarized with the system, what I was working on. So I want something new and different to try. So I thought when I was doing the preparation, I didn't thought about to join the Microsoft, but it was definitely my dream company.
Okay.
So at least I want to give a try. Before before selecting in Microsoft, even I gave multiple times in 1 year of last year. I mean,
Okay.
two or three times I gave definitely. So first time when I gave, I got rejected in final round because of some DSA things I remember. Second, I don't know the reason because they didn't give any feedback to me. Third time I got selected there.
Super.
So
So it was a kind of dream company for you.
yeah, that is the main reason. Intuit is amazing. I'm saying that, but yeah, dream company. So I want to try what is as a dream company look like that. I can say.
Super. Even I gave Intuit interview for SD2 last year,
Oh, nice.
but couldn't join because I had Google offer.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
Super. So let's talk a little bit about how did you got these opportunities from Microsoft? Like, did it came to you, or what was the exact application or interview entry point? Like, where were you applying on LinkedIn Jobs, Naukri, or was it a LinkedIn email?
Particular to Microsoft, I tried multiple times by referral. I lot of times. I think in lot of people on LinkedIn just refer to me like that.
Okay.
So got the referrals as well, but I think it never worked for me. I'm not saying it is not work for me, so it will not work to others, but not for me at least. I got the direct call directly from the career portals. Like I applied directly on the career portals. In most wherever I got the selection, it is direct only. First, it is not through referral in any of these companies. Intuit, Swiggy as well. I have other offers. Amazon, all those companies.
So you had offers on Swiggy and Amazon as well.
Yes, Swiggy and Amazon as well.
We'll come back to that point. Yeah.
Sure. So I didn't get any opportunity to refer. I directly applied through career portal, and they are calling me like just to start with the interview process. So like that, I got the Microsoft opportunity as well. I got the call from recruiter.
Super. And what about the Swiggy and Amazon? Was it a referral or?
No, it is the direct career portal opportunity for me. But one thing
like how it was happening, whether you were active on LinkedIn or you were somewhere active so that recruiters were able to find you and call you directly.
One thing I can say, I was applying so dedicatedly because I already targeted to switch. So even in Microsoft, I applied almost 50 plus times. I remember the not selected field in my portal more than 45 plus times, and then I'm getting that selected one message on that portal. So it was definitely a rewarding journey for me. Similarly, in Swiggy as well, I applied multiple times. Amazon as well. I was like dedicatedly, desperately applying everywhere.
Superb. So what I can summarize from this is you should keep trying until you succeed.
Exactly.
I see a lot of comments on my YouTube videos and on my LinkedIn DMs as well, that how to get these opportunities. That they're asking, can you help me fix my resume? Is there any problem in my resume, or is there something else that I'm missing? I'm not getting shortlisted. So I think the problem is not with them, but it's with everyone. I think the luck-based factor
Luck is true,
Yeah.
actually, I think.
and when you'll get the call, you never know.
I think matter how dedicatedly you are applying, if you are applying 50 times, then definitely at least one time your luck is with you, then at least one time you can expect to get the calls.
Exactly. That's true. That's true. So one thing that also helped me was being active on LinkedIn and keep pinging different companies' HRs. That also helped.
Cold email also
Yeah,
works
cold
for me.
emailing also work. Cold calls also work.
Yeah, that's true actually.
Yeah, that's true. Superb. So now let's talk about your Microsoft interview process that you went through, and how many rounds were there at what each round was primarily testing, whether it was a DSA, LLD, HLD. Throw some light, like maybe into the
Sure.
process. Yeah.
So, one thing like before giving Intuit and Microsoft, I get a lot of companies interviews. So I was already prepared what will like whatever will happen with me, either it is rejection or selection, because I got rejection from a lot of the companies. So I got confident that if I'm getting rejection, I will learn something from there. So that's
a very good
mindset, to
be honest.
sometimes it happened that I got dissatisfaction or like a disappointment that I'm doing everything, applying, read, study, the managing work, everything, then still I'll not get selected, don't know the results as well. Or wherever you are given any interviews, most of the time you will not get any feedback from there.
That's true. That completely agree. Most of the time, if you're rejected, you're silently ghosted.
Yeah, they will not tell you why you rejected. Even you will try in reaching out them multiple times. They will, sometime it happen, they will not tell you that you're rejected or selected. This happened with me as well. Like a lot of companies, not a one company, like in lot of companies. But I can say Intuit is one of the toughest interview process for me so far.
That's
Before Intuit, LinkedIn it was. I was LinkedIn also I applied. I got rejected after 7 or 8 rounds. I gave, it was 2 month journey, and then I got rejected from there. I was totally disappointed that why it happened. I really did very well, and I was like asking HR multiple times, give me detailed feedback where I went wrong. I just want that thing. But after 2 months, I was like, I am not doing preparation now. I will continue to doing it Walmart. I am good here. Why I need to do the switch? This came in my thought. So 1 week के लिए मैंने छोड़ दी थी preparation, but then I again started. वो तो था कि now I reached to the 80%. I want to do the 100%.
That's a very good mindset, to be honest.
Yeah. So 1 week rest, but then again I started. Literally, it was July or August month time, I remember. So then, yeah, Intuit, as I was saying, so Intuit was having almost 6 to 7 rounds, I think, yes, 6 to 7 rounds for me. So that's why it is a difficult than Microsoft.
I mean,
Because-
how many rounds were there in Microsoft, and what kind of rounds were there?
In Microsoft, there were total 5 rounds for me,
Okay.
starting from online screening test. It was, I think, from HackerRank. Yeah, followed by DSA, LLD, and then HMP and HM, like that.
Okay, so you had one DSA round, other than the OA, which was online assessment.
Yes.
What was the difficulty of online assessment? Was it very hard or medium?
It was medium to hard. One tough problem will be there. That
Okay.
will be
Was it
challenging.
a standard lead code problems, or it was a CP kind of problem, like competitive programming code versus?
It's
That-
not a lead code problem. It's a CP problem where you have to just first to get the understanding of the problem.
Okay,
Not
but the
have-
underlying problems can be found on lead code, is it?
That's true. If you're doing practice, then you will do.
Okay,
You will
so-
be able to do it.
Okay, nothing fancy, it means.
Nothing.
And then followed by one DSA round.
Yes.
What was the
One-
difficulty of it, if you can throw some light?
DSA round will also be medium to hard. It's depend on your luck as well. Like
That's true.
interviewer having like what is interviewer is
Mindset.
going on like in the mind, what they are thinking, or they are already planned that this approach I want from the student, I can say.
Mhm.
So that is something luck based as well. But generally, as I am saying, I applied. I gave two to three times, so it was medium to hard for me at least. Generally, they will ask you the DP problem. I think DP must. DP mostly MNCs it is must. Either it is LinkedIn, Atlassian, or wherever it is. DP they will definitely ask. Graph it depend on time. Like it's in 1 hour they are saying that graph and DP both need to cover. It is really hard for everyone because 1 hour is very less time to explaining introduction and then coding as
That's
well.
true. That's true. That's true.
So
So
generally they ask from binary search, DP, graph. If there is a graph problem, I think it will be one problem only. But in rest of the other cases, it will be the two problem.
okay, so it could be one medium and one hard, or it could be two medium, or just
Two medium, I can say.
super. All lead code style, lead code pattern.
Lead code pattern.
Super, super. And what about the LLD and HLD?
LLD and HLD, like LLD, I can say, like it is, they are already having some hacker and platform access where you need to do the coding and everything. So just explaining, telling them entity, DB, the APIs, all those things, whatever comes into the low-level design, it's not sufficient. You need to do the code as well. They are expecting the business logic completely, you can say. So again, they might be the chances you can get the generic problem. Generic means to what? Like notification system, or it can be the
Parking lot.
design problem,
Yeah, Sudoku. Yeah, I can get it.
pseudo code, or rate limiter algorithm, or anything like that. But it can be possibility they can ask you the particularly Microsoft related any problem.
Yeah, and LLD is very open ended.
Yeah.
So was that the expectation you have to give a working solution by end of the interview? I mean working code?
Working code, at least business logic, if it is not running, I'm saying that they don't want to run it on any ID,
Okay.
but they are expecting it should work at least. Your thought process is very clear or explanation is very smooth. So whatever you are telling as a part of business logic, or you can say whatever you are explaining there, it is clear to you as well.
Got it, got it. So the expectation is not to provide a runnable and like fully production code, just the discussion and the
Writing the code.
writing the code, entities, API code. Okay, that's
Correct.
okay. So I think the last round was HLD, the most important round that SD2s talk about. How was your experience?
Yeah.
What kind of questions were asked?
HLD was hard for me, at least I can say that. It was hard for me because I was not confident in HLD. Not that confident, but I gave as a lot of interviews. So somehow you can say I know the approaches of the problems, familiarize problems. So like that, let's suppose in what happened most of the cases, you can explain Kafka wherever that event-driven architecture.
That's true. That's true. That's true. I mean, I've also given more than 100 interviews. So as far as I can see, mostly they're asking generic problem. HLD has some good set of problems.
Wide, correct.
So you can categorize those, right? Like consistency over availability and availability over consistency. Those kind of problems where you have to do all the ACID transaction, which is like banking problem, and the rest like design, life, newsfeed, or sort of things. So you will be having a less domain that you can. I mean, the boundary is smaller as compared to HLD and DSA, so you can prepare that. But the difficulties go high because there's no perfect design, there's no perfect solution.
Exactly.
There's always a point of discussion that you can dive deep into. Like why not SQL and why no SQL?
And it's a two-way communication as well. If you are telling and some other person is not like telling you what you are saying or contributing at least a 1 or 2%, then it will be bored as well because
That's true.
one-way communication is not like that. You are feeling confident what you are saying it is correct or not. So that is one another thing in HLD actually because there is no perfect solution there.
So, like, what did your interview preparation look like during this switch? You did multiple switch. So, I mean, you cracked multiple companies. And how did you structure your preparation alongside with a full-time job? I mean, this is a very common question, and everyone wants to hear how did you manage a 9 to 5 job along with your preparation for your switches?
Actually, yeah, it is completely true. It is really hard for someone to doing a full-time job and then along with doing the preparation as well. Because managing the time is a biggest challenging for everyone. I'm not saying for it was for me as well. as I can say, if you have to go to the office, then it is again more difficult.
That's true. That's true.
In Bangalore,
Bangalore, you spend 2 hours, 3 hours a day. I spend 3 hours a day while commuting, so I know the pain. Did you were you preparing during that commuting time? Are you,
No,
what
well,
you say?
commuting time,
No.
no, I can say. Sometimes it's depend on my mood. If I want to relax, rest, kill it, then just sitting in the cab or listening the songs like that. But sometimes it happen I'm watching this telemedia,
Which movie it is? Driver.
a style video.
Okay.
Like you can say last night I tried something and it didn't like I was not able to complete it, and I am just feeling sleepy. So next day in a cab I am just watching the solution just to get how I can do it like that. But yeah, as we are going further, how I prepared along with the job. So I started with the first HLD because DSA was a 2 year gap for me. I in the last like when I was in the Walmart for 2 or 2.5 year, 2 year, not 2.5 year, I can say. In that 2 year time period, I did not solve any problem of LeetCode or DSA, nothing like that. So it was that situation. It was that I forgot the syntax as well, or I was in C++.
Okay.
Doing CSA, DSA in C++, and Walmart is completely in Java. The whatever work I was doing there.
Yeah.
So first challenging process was for me, should I continue in C++ or should I do it in Java? It was asking to my friends, what should I do? I am just confused here. Because if I will do it in C++, might be the chances I will forget the Java syntax.
Gotcha.
That is needed in the
So, what was the final conclusion? Did you went with Java?
C++.
Whoa, that's a tough choice that you made. Why not Java? I mean, that's your primary language, right? You can always, like, the syntax and the methods are on the top of your head because you're coding every day in Java. Say C++, like, this is a very debatable thing. People ask. I mean, I've seen people having two languages, one for their interview and one for their day-to-day work. I mean, not day-to-day. I mean, the work language. I mean,
Correct,
yeah.
actually. Yeah, I can say one thing. The reason was for me, at least in college, I did competitive coding in a like very well manner, like familiarized with STL library, which is in C++. So I was confident that if I will do it for a 1 month, I will familiarize with all the syntax and everything. But if I need to continue in Java, then I need to learn like syntax, map, set, and everything, like lot of STL libraries which we can directly use in C++. And I was not aware about in Java. I can say that all those things in map, like we have unordered, ordered in C++. Similarly, in Java as well, we have the map structure like hash map you can use and concurrency hash map, not a things. But I was, you can say in C++, I was more confident for DSA because I already solved a lot of problems in that 2 year back.
So it's a muscle memory that you had already developed.
Two actually muscle memory that you can say. So yeah, DSA I started then, not DSA, HLD I started to reading the books. I read the, sorry.
Did you just followed books or was there any other preparation material that you followed? Some online course or some YouTube videos, some channels, anything?
Starting from books to get the basics I need to clear first, because going into the problem directly is not the good approach. First, you should understand the basics. Basics means to like the architecture. Architecture, I can say that.
Which books, to be honest? I mean, which book?
I think I forgot the example, but I think
It's a DDI, again, data intensive application.
Yes, it was Alan Sexu.
Yeah. Also, Alex View. Both
Yeah.
volume 1 and volume 2, right?
No, not completely.
Okay.
Not completely, and until bit only.
Alex View books are generally good if you're starting. I mean, those are good for beginners. I don't see a lot of dive deeps in any of those chapters, but if you want to have an abstract idea, it's a good head start.
Yeah, that's true actually. To get the familiarized with the concepts and then to start the problems, it's really nice.
Did you follow any YouTube channel, any videos?
YouTube, like I bought the Educative IO course as well.
Okay.
It was I remember that I followed that as well, like for multi-threading concepts, for system design, for low-level design as well.
Educative data, is it cracking the coding interview? Grokking the system design. Yeah.
That I bought. I'm not personally, you can say recommend anyone.
Why?
They should purchase it. it's not necessary. Like we have a lot of free content as well on YouTube. When I was doing preparation, I was not that confident and getting the values of that free wala content, you can say. But when I started preparation and I gone through the educated course, but I realized that just reading the theoretical concept is not sufficient. We should have some memorization of the concept as well. Like if you are telling something, that will be more helpful as compared to reading from the books or reading from the articles. So YouTube as a concept and coding I mostly follow. One other is the Jordan Has No Life, which is very amazing channel. Oh, not
Yeah, I've seen his videos. But yeah, I mean, good channels, I would say. One is Header Interviews is also has awesome content.
awesome,
Yeah.
awesome. Yes,
I
awesome
followed, I
podcast.
followed in and out. I mean, I scraped their whole website. I bought the premium and I just went through each article and found them really cool.
Nice.
Another channel that I want to call it is I Got an Offer Sui Engineering. I think
Oh,
so. That is also a nice channel.
Mm.
Then System Design Fight Club is also one of them. I mean, see, I'm also planning to start some
so true.
whatever is my learning specifically for interview purpose. Maybe I'll
Right.
also start something. But yeah,
Nice, nice.
thanks for your feedback. I mean, overall, your preparation resources. Okay.
Yep. Then I try to manage along with the work, like doing in the morning time before going to the office, doing in the night time after knock out the work and all.
It
So
must
like
be
that
very
I
exhausting, right? I mean,
sorry.
it must be very exhausting, right? Before office, then
Yeah.
after office, then on weekends, grinds as well.
Weekends too, actually. Weekends I mostly do. Actually, my strategy was one of the weekend I have to do relax. One of the weekend I have to do study.
That's weird. I
Relax is
mean,
not
you
completely.
you always try to make a balance so that you don't get exhausted.
Exactly.
Otherwise, there will be a lot of mental and cognitive load on you that you have to prepare each weekend so that you can switch. I mean, that's the kind of hard work that pays you off later, right? And that comes as a factor of luck that people say. But I believe luck only comes to those. I'm not talking about the exceptions. It definitely comes to those people who are trying their best, who are trying hard. So, kudos to you.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Thanks, Anwar.
Okay.
So I would suggest everyone, whoever is doing the preparation along with the full-time job,
Yeah.
it is really hard, but you have to manage your work as well and your study as well. Both have to manage parallelly. It is really necessary. Like you can't say that I'm not doing the work I'm getting in my full-time job. It is not possible.
Yeah.
You have to manage that
You have
as
to
well.
stop complaining first, and you have to understand that good things only come when you come out of your comfort zone.
Exactly. That is the only key strategy.
Right. So, maybe in just one line, can you summarize, or maybe looking back, what were your biggest learning from your interview process, and maybe what do you think the candidate misses a lot? I mean, what kind of mistakes you should avoid? What kind of failures that you went through that you want us, the viewers, to understand so that they don't do the same mistake?
Okay. So I would say in
Specifically
terms
for
of
SD2 interviews, I mean, specific because most of my viewers are mostly SD2s and SD1s. So maybe
Mm.
someone targeting top product-based company because that was your target. And maybe let's talk something on that.
Oh, like biggest learning from the interviews, I can say whenever you are getting rejections, you should learn from them. Like where I know one thing that from the recruiters we will never got the feedback. Sometimes it happened that from the top companies they will give because you did really well. You are thinking, but if they are good in terms of you can say they are ready to give the feedback. That is nice. But what you can do from the rejection, we should learn that where we are doing wrong. Like if you are going in the interviews, and it might happen for one or two times that you did very well, but things didn't go as expected. But lot of times it happened that you know where you went wrong. It happened like you know that already you will get rejected from this company. You are not doing well, so you can start the focusing on those parts because whatever you are doing that's nice, but that is not a way where you will realize where you are doing wrong. So the good way is to get as much as interviews, like get the calls or as much as interviews for the small, big companies. I'm not saying directly to target to the big companies, starting from the small. Because if you are getting from researchers there, I think it will not impact you much as you are getting from the big
I mean, you can
companies.
consider those as mock interviews. Well, nothing to
Exactly.
lose, right?
Exactly. I did the same thing. I give lot of interviews for small companies as well. I never heard the name of those companies, but I gave because I want to get the confidence there from there.
Makes sense, makes sense. So
Uh,
instead of giving mock interviews, you consider those as mock interviews. Yeah.
exactly. And after some time, you will be like, anytime you will be ready to get the interviews if
That's
this
true, that's
situation happened with
true.
you. You never think about that. I need to get prepared. I'm not prepared or I'm not doing well. This situation will not come in your mind if you are doing the interviews very regularly.
Okay, that's true. Any sort of mistakes that one should avoid?
Mistakes, I can say distraction. Distraction means to what? Like jumping onto the multiple website because I did this thing. When I was doing the DSA, I was feeling bored. Then I'm checking one website, then other website, then other, checking something interesting, like that. But after all those things, after that, then I jumped back to the lead code only. Even like I forward that I jump on to the multiple website where you can say that we are getting a particular number of questions.
Yeah, LinkedIn's
Exactly.
Bhaiya Didi sheets, right?
Exactly. The sheet things. So then I was doing
Do they
this
help?
driver sheet.
I mean, I have never tried any one of those, but do that help?
It helped actually. Striver 190 problem sheet is definitely help actually
That's good.
for me at least.
That's good. That's
In college as well, I did that sheet, and from that way, I got lot of amazing offers at the time itself.
okay.
So when I started now, then again I started with that sheet, but I was feeling bored because I already did those problems in my college. So muscle memory, like I'm getting the solution in my mind. I was doing this, and then suddenly, oh, मुझे already आता है, ये मैं नहीं कर रही. So I want something interesting. So फिर lead code daily problem I tried.
Yeah,
Starting
Equal daily problem is something that I loved a lot during my college days. And I used to practice CS problem set at Coder, sometime Code Forces, sometime Code Chef. And at that time, these Bhaiya Didis was not as popular as they are now.
Yes.
And there was a platform called binarysearch.io, and it was a like cult website specifically. It was like a lead code plus Discord. So you used to spend a lot of time there. I think that had 2,000 problems, and I was one of them who solved like the complete website.
Nice here.
Yeah, but they
Amazing.
didn't got funding and it got shut.
No.
So I mean, if these sheets are helping, then one should always use them as
Yeah.
a. I mean, blind 75. I consider blind 75 need code
Going to stay is also nice.
is also, I mean, a good icebreaker problems to start if you're already aware of.
Yeah, as I'm saying, I tried multiple ways. Is this only like sometimes blind 75, sometimes need code 150, sometimes driver seat, and confusing. What should I do? What should I
So
not do?
one should only pick one and just solve into it.
Solving. That's the good approach. And then daily read code problem is help a lot.
Do you also read some interview experiences? Let's say,
Sorry?
did you also read some previous interview experiences before appearing? So let's say past Microsoft interview experiences.
Yeah, definitely.
Does that help?
It helped. It helped a lot to get to familiar with the approach strategy.
That's true. I'm pretty sure that interview experiences are like those previous year a question bank that we used to solve in our college days and schools, right? It's similar to that.
Actually,
Super.
and actually, sometime what happened now, I would say that when you are doing the daily liquid program, it happened that if you are giving any interviews very next day or very next to next day, the same problem came to you if it is your luck.
That's
It happened for me actually for one or two companies that happened. Like I tried some problem today, and tomorrow I'm getting in my interviews the same problem.
small world.
Yeah, so I was so much happy at that time. I know this problem already.
That's great. So one last question, Neha. If someone is targeting Microsoft, what should they focus on in their next 6 months to maximize their chances of selection? Or next 3 months, or let's say next 1 month. What is
Next
your roadmap that you can share with us?
For if we are targeting for the Microsoft, I would say more focus on design part rather than DSA,
Okay.
because yeah, they want to real life problem solving skills, not the repetitive DSA things.
Exactly. And we keep on telling this thing that if you are an SD2, more than 3 or 2 year of experience, you should start prioritizing real engineering rather than those
Exactly.
old data structures and algorithm which you will be never ever encountering in your day-to-day work.
Yes. Currently the trend is going on for most of the companies. They are asking the real time problem. What they are
Exactly.
facing in the current company.
That's true. That's so even I've seen like some of the very interview experiences, and I had some word with Amazon recruiters as well, that the DSA rounds are not eliminatory. I mean, even if you didn't get good rating, I mean, it is not inclined, they will still give you a chance to appear in LLD. If LLD also didn't go well, you won't be proceeded for HLD. But if you did something good in LLD, you will move forward to HLD. If you did good HLD, you will move forward with the hiring manager round. So DSA, I'm seeing this slow trend specifically for SD2. And why I'm phrasing a lot why SD2, because SD1 roles are being getting eliminated soon because of this AI. We had already started seeing decline in number of openings for SD2. I mean SD1.
Oh, SD1.
So
Yeah.
a lot of push and force that I can see is to focus on the real engineering.
Yeah. Yeah, AI is a like bonus point if someone is preparing for Microsoft and if they are having some good projects as a personal,
In AI,
yeah, it would be a plus point.
I mean using AI, I mean some sort of AI adoption, is it?
AI adoption is there in the company, but just to you can say integration of AI agent in any of your personal project. In YouTube, lot of contents are there. Even I have gone through few of them. I don't remember the exact name of the channel, but like in Intuit, they have some dedicated round of AI. So I explained the problems there. That personal project thing. So it went very well for me.
Even Meta has this AI DSA round, AI problem solving round, where you will be given access to Chat GPT or any model,
Yeah.
Gemini model, and you have to solve that problem using AI.
Yeah, it happened. It's a few of the companies as of now, but in future might be the chances most of the companies.
So, what is your take on whether we should still focus more on DSA because it is the very first round for most of the company? Or is it like being a decent enough, you have done let's say 300, 400 quality problems and you can just say done and dusted and then move to quickly to LLD, HLD? What is your
Yeah,
take?
I would say second option is better. Like if 300, 400 quality problem you are doing, then definitely in the interview you will be explained if you are getting some medium problem. Might be chances, sometime it will not, but most of the chances you will be able to do it. Because you can say that the concepts are unlimited, like graph, DP, array, binary search, or linked list, like that. But if you are familiarized with all those concepts and getting like doing lot of questions already, then you will be able to do it most of the time.
That's true. That's true.
So better to focus more on HLD or LND things.
If you are an SD2,
currently.
because for SD1 it's still DSA. But I've
Yeah,
seen a lot of companies asking LLDs to SD1,
Yeah, I know that.
especially Flipkart kind of company, even Microsoft. Is there
Now they
Microsoft?
started.
Now they started.
Previously it was not.
Yeah, I've been seeing this trend that they started reducing number of DSA round and started increasing the LLD specifically for SD1. The bar is low, but still it is present. So you need to prepare.
Yeah, currently it's just started. Not in when we were in the college, it was not there.
Yeah, same.
The
Obvious.
things.
It was not there, but now there's a trend that DSA hype is going down as
Yeah.
compared to it was.
But DSA will always be there, like because it is the first round.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I'm not saying you should not at all prepare for DSA. No harm. I mean, just be a decent coder, solve 3 to 400 problems. That's it.
That's nice approach actually.
I mean-
but at the end we need to
Yeah.
do LND, HND, DSA, everything to get the selection.
That's true. That's true. Yeah. Thank you so much, Neha, for your time. And I hope our viewers will get a lot of learning from us, especially from you, your interview journeys. And thank you so much for your time. Do you have any ending note, ending word, ending sentence that you want to end with?
Thanks, Anwar. But As an ending, I would say one thing like if someone is doing constantly, then one day there definitely he or she will get the reward. So they should keep trying, not like that they are doing then taking gap, then again doing, then taking gap, then it will definitely will take a lot of time.
So you mean staying consistent
Consistency,
is the key. Okay.
consistency matter, or
Even
at least in our
observe.
field, definitely.
Consistency is a key for me as well. So if you're consistent in anything, not just your switch interview preparation, you're consistent in anything, you will start seeing the results in a very less
Exactly.
amount of time, maybe in just 20
It
days.
is the matters.
Definitely, definitely. So thank you so much, Neha. Thank you so much for taking out time on weekend. Yep.
Thanks, Anuga.
Bye.
Bye.